Alright, I'm gonna show y'all a video, and I want y'all to think about something while we're watching this video. So, I see things like this, and I think to myself, how is this possible in a civilized society? Like a, c- a civilized society should be these should be people who they're so cooperative and so smart that they've created an advanced civilization. You know. So obviously, these people are good at working together. They're intelligent, they're resourceful, and they look out for each other. That's how you get a prosperous society. So when you see this, I want you to think to yourself, like, are we really a prosperous, civilized society? Are we really the pinnacle of mankind? Are we really the smartest, most efficient, most advanced version of people that has ever existed. So, you know, and I want you to also realize that this is something that it only happens in our society. This is something that's never happened throughout history in any other society. This is a very new thing in the new world. So, let's just watch this video. I'm gonna have to like turn down the music. They play this like sad music, and I just have a feeling if I play it at full volume, I'm gonna get some sort of copyright strike. Look at the shoes she's wearing.
What are you doing out here? Are you homeless?
Yeah, homeless.
How long have you been homeless for?
For a year?
A year?
Yeah.
She said 20 years. He goes, a year? Like, are you deaf? Are you dumb? Can you see her? Does she look like she's been homeless for 1 year? Do you?
Are you trying to get something to eat or what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Want me to get you something for QT?
Okay.
Alright.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Look how excited she is about just getting food. It's obvious that no one's been nice to this woman in God knows how long. How many people have walked past this woman, not given a shit about her, probably threw things at her, were mean to her. That's an assumption, who knows. But how many people have gone past this woman and haven't paid her no mind? She obviously needs help.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Here goes a pizza.
Oh, boy. Well, oh, my God. Oh, my
Goes your drinks right there.
Oh, my God. Oh, boy.
Goes a couple of bucks.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Alright, you take care, man.
Thank you. I love you.
And then he gives her a slice of pizza, a Gatorade, a soda, and a couple of bucks. Like, why not get her a pair of shoes? You know what I mean? But it's nice he did something for her. That's nice of him. But realistically, this guy, I don't know this guy, but he don't give a shit about this woman. He's getting a video that he's hoping is going to go viral. Otherwise, he would have at least listened to what she said when he asked, how long have you been homeless? She said 20 years. He's like, oh, 1 year? It's like, we're in a society full of sociopaths, bro. Sociopaths are people without feelings. So, and off she goes to whatever gutter or dumpster she's sleeping in. He doesn't give a shit. He did his good deed. He's going to get his viral video, and it only costed him 10 bucks, 20 bucks. It's like, I'm not saying this guy's evil, or he's probably about average, the average person in this world. Now, what you got to realize is that historically, people were never this sociopathic and nasty and stupid. And then when you read the comments of that video, people are like, stop calling them homeless. They're junkies. Like, even if she's a junkie, do you think she deserves to live like that? I mean, do you realize how brainwashed you got to be to look at someone in that condition and be angry at them and blame them and think they deserve that? Nobody deserves that. And I've lived on the street, and I can tell you one thing: homeless people get a really bad rep, and to be honest, a lot of them deserve that, but some of them don't. And so, I mean, I guess I don't. It's hard to judge, you know. I just it absolutely boggles my mind that we live in a society full of people who are so cold-hearted and nasty towards each other that how many people have walked past this woman, rode past this woman, and not even stopped to, you know what I mean? Now, what a 1,000 years ago, do you think that, let's say, like a village of Vikings, do you think they would leave one of their people out there like that and just everyone ignore them until they just rot into and decay and dissolve into nothing? It's like, yeah, I'm sure she's on something and she's made a lot of bad decisions, but I mean, do you realize what type of a community would allow that to happen to someone? There's there's like there's there's a thing called there's the ancient laws of hospitality, which modern man we've been we've been taught to basically forget everything. We're just all we know is we got to make money and pay our bills and we got to try to get rich and get a Lamborghini and bang out all the hot girls. Modern man is the most ignorant, dumbest version of mankind that ever existed. I mean, it's all by design. It's like none of us can see the stars at night. All the architecture is basically parking lots and boxes. Everything is designed to keep your brain from reaching anything higher than I need to make money and get laid. You know what I mean? And maybe get wasted, whatever it is that you do, or you know what I mean? So basically, what I'm saying is throughout history, no other version of mankind would have things like this happening around them. It's like another thing you got to realize is that you know our our ancestors who we consider to be primitive, like take the Native Americans for instance. You think they're like, oh, primitive savage people. I saw a quote from a Native American. I forget what tribe, and he was saying basically like we don't have poor people. He was saying whites have poor people, but we don't have poor people. He said if someone doesn't have a blanket and a teepee, we give them a blanket and a teepee and we help them. He's like we don't. None of us are that poor because if someone is that poor that they can't even eat, we feed them. He's like to him it was completely foreign that we could be that way, you know. And you think like, oh well, that's just how white people are. That's not true at all. The Vikings, all of our ancestors throughout history, even in our own culture, they had laws of hospitality, which means you can look this up. There's ancient laws of hospitality, which basically boils down to people would not hesitate to travel far and wide because they knew that if they needed shelter and food, all they had to do was knock on someone's door and ask for it. And those people would be treated as family due to the laws of hospitality, which is, you know, back then people answered to God. They didn't answer to greedy people, they answered to God. So if someone came to your house and knocked on your door, and was looking for food and shelter, you'd think nothing of it. You'd let them in. You'd treat them like a member of the family. It wouldn't even be awkward. You'd be, you know, people really naturally people are they're happy to help each other out. You know, if they're raised in any sort of normal society, normal civilized society, what's a little bit of food? What's letting someone sleep on your floor one night? You know. But now we're taught like, oh well, they're gonna break in and they're gonna try to kill you, and it's like it's all so ridiculous that me personally, and believe me, I when I was younger, I had this problem too. My buddy John, rest in peace, John. He wanted to stay at my house for a week, and I knew he was on opiates and all that. I let him stay at my house for a week with his girlfriend, and you know, I gotta say, he was really annoying me for a lot of reasons. One of them being I had to get up and work every morning, and they're out in my living room blasting the TV. The TV. I've got to go ask them to lower the TV. I'm like, John, what the fuck? What are you doing, bro? Like, I'm letting you stay in my house. You're at 4 in the morning, TV blasting. I gotta work in the morning, bro. What are you doing? You know? And so I let John stay with me for a week. But the other thing, when he left, I was like, never again. Like, but nowadays, after living on the street, let me tell you something. If one of my friends ever needed a place to stay, I'd let him stay for, you know what I mean? I know what it's like. So it takes a whole lot of brainwashing to get people to the point where they can see another person in this condition and think nothing of it. It's like, but that's the whole point. It's like they've got everyone in such a miserable state that when people see something like this, it you know it makes them feel good in some ways. Like, oh wow, at least I'm not in that position. And it's like, it, our the reason you see people like this is because our society needs you to see people like that, because if you don't see that, then it's like, what is there to scare you into living a life you don't want to live and spending the majority of it doing things you don't want to do? They need you to see things like that. So, I mean, how did she walk around in those shoes? What happened to her shoes? And did you see when they give her the money, she instantly tries to hide it, because here's how nasty people are. They'd steal from her. In her condition, there's other people out on the street who would steal from her. There's homeless people steal from other homeless people. And another thing is, I've had homeless people try to like bully me out of my stuff. But once they realize that, because a lot of homeless people are so low on self-esteem and they think so little of themselves that they'll let you just pick on them and take anything. I was never like that. So, but one time some drunken homeless moron came up and basically told me he was taking my bike, and I was like, I didn't even have to say a word. The way I looked at him basically ran him off. Because to be honest, I was angry about some other things at the time, and I couldn't wait to get my hands on this guy. When he came up and said that, if he didn't leave within 1 second of saying that, I was 1 second away from leaping onto him and tearing him to pieces. And he sensed that and he left. And to be honest, I was so angry and annoyed at the time, and I had so much rage I wanted to unleash. I was considering running him down and just working out on him, dude. Like that's how annoyed I was. But I knew I'd be in the wrong attacking someone who's going away from me. You know what I mean? But yeah, I've had more than one homeless person try to, thinking they're just going to come up and take stuff from me, and it's like, it just disgusts me that. And it, this is, it's all necessary, because it's, in order to get people to live the way we live, you've got to mentally destroy them to the point where they don't give a shit about anything really except themselves. And it's like, the whole thing just disgusts me. So I seen that video, and I was just like, I was disgusted, not by her, but by the whole thing. The comments, the guy giving her a slice of pizza and a Gatorade, thinking he's like doing some great thing for humanity. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, what was he supposed to do? Put her in the back of his car and take her to his house? And here's the other thing: these people, what can you do? You could. Some of these homeless people are so messed up that there's nothing you can do. Nothing. They're if you put them in your house, they would just be screwing everything up. They'd be. You couldn't. It'd be. It'd be like having a wild chimpanzee in your house. The ancient laws of hospitality basically demand that if someone asks for food and shelter, you've got to give it to them. Muslims if you ask them for food, they have to give it to you. And there's a lot of homeless people in New York who know this, so they'll go to the Muslim carts and ask for food, and the Muslim guy's got to give it to them. But you know, that's at least they've got some decency still in them. In our societies, they've got us to the point where we we think all religion is evil, and you know you cannot subvert someone who is not willing to be subverted. So I get it. When I was younger and they'd be talking about all these Catholic priests molesting kids, it made me ashamed to be Catholic. But now thinking back on it, I realize that they were doing that on purpose. They were putting that out there, and it's all propaganda to make you ashamed of your culture, where you come from. So nowadays, even though I believe in a different sort of religion, I still say I'm Catholic. And it's like, the reason I say that is because people, like, this society has basically tried to brainwash me into being ashamed of that. So I consider myself Catholic. That's the people I come from. If anyone's got a problem with it, you can take it up with me. Whatever. We can argue about it. I'll argue any side of anything. I'll sit here and I'll argue as if everything they taught me when I was younger about religion is a fact. I can argue that. I mean, I don't particularly believe that. But here's the thing that people don't realize about religion. I've realized that I can use this mic without having it attached to my head. So the thing that modern people don't realize about religion is, initially its purpose was to make people answer to a higher power and to teach people deeper things. And it's made in stories and parables that now they're like, oh well, that's it, it's not literal, so it's not true. No, it's not supposed to be literal. If you want to take it literally, that's up to you. But the point is that religion initially was to make people answer to a higher power and to think deeper about what's right and wrong and to do what's right. You know, Catholics, I'm guessing it's the same for all Christians, we're raised to give away 10% of our income, not necessarily to the church, to the poor. Give it to the church, give it to the poor. I try to give away 10% of my income. I try. I probably should be trying harder. I don't get the opportunity to just give to, and a lot of times when the homeless people ask me for money, I'm like, this dude's trying to con me. But realistically, I got to stop thinking that way. When someone asks for help, I should give it to them. You know what I mean? So, I just try to tip everyone good, because I feel like these people are working, but I've got to stop, because recently some homeless guy was asking me to buy him something in the store, but I was thinking to myself, this guy sits out here all day. Like, bro, get off your ass and go make something happen. Don't just sit here. Yeah, honestly, look, when I sense the homeless person is kind of a scumbag, I don't want to give them money, but maybe I should stop being that way and just give them a buck. But anyways, I don't want this video to go on and on. So hopefully I got my points across. I appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for the subs, likes, comments, tips. Especially thanks for the Patreon support. I appreciate every single one of you. Hopefully this video will make us think a little deeper about, I'm including myself here too. I need to start being nicer, because when homeless people ask me for money, sometimes I look at them and I just see a person that takes advantage of everyone and everything around them, and I don't want to give them money. But you know what? I should just throw them a buck or something, because really, I should be giving away 10% of my income, which I'm probably not. But anyways, I wonder what percentage of my income I give away. Anyways, it doesn't even, whatever. So everybody have a good one. I appreciate every single one of you. Check my other channel out if you want. I just did a movie review on The 13th Warrior, which is based on the book called The Eaters of the Dead, one of my favorite books ever. It's a long video, but I believe there's a lot of important information in there. And it blows my mind when, whatever. Anyways, if you want to check my other video, I'll link it in the description, my other channel. Everybody have a good one. See y'all on the next one.